Hello, and welcome to the Court of Waffsicle Aggressive. I am Justice Dick Lincoln. This court has been reconvened to provide a fair and internet-based judgment on a matter which it is unclear why anyone truly cares about at all. Representing the plaintiff, Waffsicle, we again have Mr. Salamita and Mr. Duty. Representing the defendant, Stuttering Craig Skistimas. Mr. Salamita and Mr. Duty. Back in my courtroom again, I see. Hopefully you have a matter that is more meritorious for this court. Would the parties like to present their opening statements?
Here, I'll be the warm-up guy.
Yeah, you hype us up, dude.
Clap your hands. Everybody. Who's ready for what we're gonna do?
That's enough, Mr. Duty. Do I look like I have time to listen to you ramble on about nothing? Mr. Salamita, do you have anything to add here?
Okay, so we had this idea that it'd be a fun series to do where we documented from start, completely the inception of everything to complete finish of a super last minute trip by throwing darts at a map.
I have never in my life heard of such an idiotic idea. Son, have you ever seen Tahiti? Did you at least aim for the Caribbean? I'm nervous to say it, but continue.
The first idea was that we were going to get drunk and then blindfold ourselves. We're going to let you guys decide via Twatski poll.
Mr. Duty, I do not know or wish to know what a Twatski poll is. If you cannot refrain yourself from speaking in this courtroom, I will have you removed.
So we're going to throw these darts, and even if, say we throw these darts on 3 different states or whatever, and we talk to you guys, we want to hear what you guys have for ideas, because the map is not our final decision by any means. If you guys come up with some better ideas or some cool fucking last minute trip ideas that we think is better than where we landed, we'll do that.
Mr. Salamita, so far you have presented a completely incoherent opening statement. No, I do not want to get drunk with you and throw darts at a wall. Mr. Skistimas, would you like to present an opening statement?
I'm extremely nervous. Okay. Yeah. So I put on Twitter. I was like, "This is something you probably won't ever see, right?" And I used a GIF of somebody doing this. But I said it's probably something you'll never see, right? And anyway, so some girls were yelling at me on Twitter about stealing other people's ideas because apparently there's another guy who throws a map at the United States and does this.
He throws a map at the United States.
Or throws a dart at a map.
Here, listen.
Okay.
Listen. You want to know whose original idea this was? No. Mary-Kate and Ashley, circa 1996.
Yeah.
Okay.
Suck a dick, Twitter.
Mr. Skistimas, I do not care how nervous you are in this court of law. Please refrain from obscenities. Thank you.
Rules are live? There
yep,
you go.
Rules are live. There you go.
So read it for yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Skistimas. It appears from both of your opening statements that you are both trying to claim ownership over the concept of traveling to a random location, many of which it appears most people are trying to escape from rather than visit, determined only by the throwing of a sharp object at a map while blindfolded. While I fail to understand why anyone would truly claim ownership over such an idiotic idea, does anyone have any actual evidence proving ownership of this idea? Listen up. Opinions are like buttholes. Y'all have one and I don't want to hear any of them. Do the plaintiff or defendant have any evidence to present in this case? Let's Let's see what you have here, Mr. Salamita.
Who gives a flip?
Mr. Skistimas, you will refrain yourself in this courtroom.
Pussy ass bitches.
All right, that's it. Bailiff, get him out of this courtroom. You got it, Dick. Seeing how Mr. Skistimas has been removed from this courtroom presenting no evidence of ownership of this idea, I have no choice but to find in favor of Mr. Salamita and Mr. Duty. Mr. Salamita, Mr. Duty, did you at least consult your attorney before tearing up your registration? Or just the angry mob of the internet? Seeing as how Mr. Salamita and Mr. Duty took it upon themselves to destroy the only shred of evidence showing any form of ownership of this original idea, I have no choice but to find in favor of original ideas, and rule that Waffsicle and Mr. Skistimas shall have no rights going forward to use such a term. This is Justice Dick Lincoln of the Court of Awesomely Aggressive, and this court is adjourned.